Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning. Welcome to Travel Tech APAC third edition. It's a pleasure today. We have our third forum with this great executives, and we are starting today forum that will replicate to Latin, Spain, and EMEA this year. That we're going to talk about today about smart destinations, NFTs, bitcoins, gamifications, super apps. So we're going to have a good and nice discussion about everything that is new on this market, and let's see how that will penetrate and how really our professionals think about those points. Today we will have Niha, not myself, moderating. However, our friend Niha, she got sick. So Niha, if you're watching us, I hope you get well very soon, and I expect that you can moderate in EMEA in November with our last event of this year. So, welcome on board, everybody. For those that's the first time you are watching us, Travel Tech, the biggest educational event, 100% online worldwide that covered the entire globe in three different languages. So, welcome everybody. Thank you to be here. I will start presenting our panelists today. Before that, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors that make this happen. So thank you, Ray Tiger, Book Online Now, Review Pro, Priority Tech, Capstock, Palti, HS Latin, and also our media sponsors, Travel Daily News, Trendster, Travel Tech Academy, and Diario del Hotelero from Latin America. So welcome, everybody. Thank you to be here with us. So let's start. Welcome to main director for Bavera Partners, Roman Tosan. Welcome here. You have a 2 3 minutes to explain about you and about your company. Thank you. I think you are in mute, Roman.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Apologies. Thank you very much for inviting me back from last year, and it's a pleasure to be here. And thank you very much for everybody dialing in from home. Hello, my name is Roman Townsend. I'm the managing director and founder of Bavera Partners. We are a public relations consultancy, and we focus 100% on the travel technology space. And we work with some great clients like Alice Ferrari, who's on the line here from KYTE, a range of aviation tech, tourism tech, travel payments tech, and hospitality tech types of clients. My background is travel tech, as you can imagine. I worked in the comms team at Amadeus. I was in the direct communications for an airline called Vueling. I was in the direct communications for hotel beds. And last year I founded the business, and we're very excited to be working with some great people.
Thank you, Roman, to be here. Welcome to Travel Tech. Right now, let's go with Alice Ferrari, CEO at KYTE. Welcome, Alice. Please, you can express yourself and present your company and yourself. Thank you. Welcome to Travel Tech.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really excited to be here again. Hi and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of KYTE. KYTE is basically a modern retail and distribution software provider for airlines that empowers airlines to build offers in a much more modern, flexible way, providing better options to consumers, whilst also allowing airlines to connect much more effectively with third-party partners, which today obviously presents some real technical challenges. My background is in airlines. I started my career at EasyJet, spent a couple of years there in a strategy role where I was really exposed to a lot of innovation that was going on in airline tech, and it was a critical time for EasyJet when we were really trying to bring more digitize better the customer experience throughout the airport. And that's where I noticed how many untapped opportunities there were in the airline sector related to technology. So after that, I went to work for a venture studio, which is backed by EasyJet, which would create startups from scratch in addressing some of the pain points that the airline industry has through technology. And after 2 years there, I was offered the role to go and develop my own startup through the fund. And KYTE was sort of ideated over 3 years ago, just as NDC, which is an acronym that if you've been keeping up with the airline industry, you've probably heard or read of. It stands for New Distribution Capability, was just arising. And what we envisage is a world where airlines are much more better equipped with tools that can offer consumers a shopping experience for a flight that resembles a lot, any retail shopping experience, and also giving them the channels to communicate with their third-party partners, such as travel sellers, reducing a lot of that friction that today exists through available softwares. So really excited to be here and look forward to addressing these topics.
Awesome. Welcome, Alice Ferrari. Really happy to have you here with us. Now let's go with my friend Xose Manuel Feijoo, Head of International Sales at Boldest. Xose, welcome to Travel Tech APAC. It's a pleasure. Please, you have 2-3 minutes to talk about a little bit about yourself and about Boldest. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and congratulations for putting together such a great educational event. Obviously, we are delighted that we were invited to be here. So my background, I've been in business development internationally for the last 25 years. So I've been half of the world visiting half of the world. Regarding Boldest, we are a 2 years old startup, and we create interactive maps for marketing, and the maps, they have a unique user experience. What this means is that we simplify the search and discovery of information that destinations or brands have to offer. The platform itself is a content management system that we work with Google Maps, and at Google Maps, we add layers of qualitative information. It can be pictures, videos, 360. Then we classify that information, we pack it, and generate a new map. And those maps can be integrated, embedded on any website. The result is a very fast and easy, intuitive discovery for the final user, a very nice design, and the contents of the brands or destinations are enhanced. So people really have fun exploring our interactive maps. Also, this is web-based, so only needed a web browser. So this is very easy for access for anybody around the world. And when you access by mobile, it's because it's web-based, you don't need to download any app. So it is very easy for everybody to engage with our maps. At the same time, the maps is a universal language, and it's an inviting tool to explore. So this is what we do in Boldest. Our clients, any company that wants to improve how to sell their own heuristic product can be a client of us. Most of the cases are DMOs, DMCs, OTAs, all these kind of different companies. Whoever has a product, a heuristic product that wants to be more engaging, they can use our maps. And we have a very simple business model with a setup fee and then a subscription. And this is basically what we do in Boldest.
Thank you so much, Jose. I personally met the platform, and it's great. Tomorrow, Boldest will present on this platform. It's very interactive for smart destinations, concerning for the tourists how engage with the different tourist points and a lot of other things. That is amazing. Thank you so much to be here, Jose. Let's go with Akina, Head of Digital Transformation and Innovation, Great Eagle Holdings Limited. Akina, welcome to Travel Tech. It's a great pleasure to have you here with us. So I give you either 2-3 minutes to present yourself and your company, and welcome to Travel Tech. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Akina Ho. I'm sure most of you have not heard of Great Eagle before, but Great Eagle owns the Langham Hotel, the Cordis Hotel, the Eaton Hotel. We're in residentials, a co-working space, and other stuff, right? So my job is to move our company from Web 1 to Web 2, right? And I'm trying to move them from kind of leaping ahead from Web 1 to Web 3. A bit difficult, but still trying. It's not an easy concept. Part of my job is to do that, which is the digital transformation part. The innovation part is to think of new ideas and also find new companies and things like that. In the tenure I've been here, 4 years ago, we did IoT for automations of a lot of stuff. We got a lot of ESG award, cleaning the air, reducing carbon dioxide, detecting wetness before it floods out the building. We did drone for construction. We did what do you call those chatbots for customer service, mobile apps for ordering, kiosks for ordering, and things like that. That was 4 years ago, right? So now we're looking at NFT and metaverse, and then that's a whole different reaction. So and it's kind of fun. I'm a little way out there because I'm pretty active in the investment committee. I'm also on our investment committee, so I look at a lot of deep tech around the world. We brought in a very senior chief investment officer who's from the Silicon Valley that deals with multi-billion-dollar fund. He actually invested in Oculus a long time ago. They own 20% of Oculus when they were sold to Facebook. So we're kind of like very into the deep tech part of the world. So I get to see all those great stuff. In addition, I'm also in the All-Star Women NFT Club and DAO. It's an investment DAO. We support women in the Web3 space, or any women who wants to be in the Web3 space but don't know how. And we also have a lot of men supporting women. So we have a mixture of people, which is amazing. So I head off their business consultancy for globally to support any of our members and our ambassadors' business. So I help fundraise before, build a unicorn before, in 18 months of hire. My largest fundraise is $125 million US, with, Foxconn, SoftBank, and etc. So I'm building a unicorn, hopefully in the future. So building a metaverse version of a new business model. Been doing great. So I love mentoring startups. Hopefully with my experience and everything, I can do that. If you ask me for travel, what does Metaverse NFT has to do with travel? I hope I won't shock you guys later with some of my ideas, and hope you guys don't go, oh my God, again. So
no, welcome, Akina. Here's an open place where we can express ourselves and everything that we think about the tourism and the travel and hospitality market that will impact in the next years, or is already impacting. So please feel free to express yourself with freedom here. This educational. Everything that we do is to try to grow and provide education to our market. That is a trade that really needs to have a lot of educational. So thank you so much to be here again. Right now, let's go with Pamela Kerr, founder and CEO of Virtual Horizon. Pamela, welcome to Travel Tech. Thank you so much to be here with us. And I will give you your 2-3 minutes to present yourself.
Thank you so much. I am beyond humbled to be here amongst such lovely guests, and I can't wait to hear from everybody. It's fascinating, the world of tourism. We're dealing with human beings. My name is Pamela Kerr. I'm the CEO and founder of Virtual Horizon. Virtual Horizon basically forms that bridge between an artist or a creative and the Web3 opportunity. We also partner with a lot of different art organizations, galleries in the real world, and we try to do as much as we can to link each artist with a mentor, but also to enable them to understand what Web3 is, how to educate, and we really enhance those storytelling skills, and also we really empower them to onboard their natural collectors from the real world. But I'm also the founder of the Corals NFT. The Corals NFT project was set up last year. It was because I was scammed in the space, and I decided rather than leave it, that I would get stuck in and I would create my own NFT. So this NFT was designed to save the corals of the Great Barrier Reef. We partnered with the Great Barrier Reef Foundation to raise $1 million. And we are revolutionizing how we fundraise and how we utilize NFTs and Web3 to affect real-time change and to ease or prick the conscience of the world to do better by feeling something through a piece of art. So I'm a firm believer in the human relationship. I'm a firm believer in onboarding and educating. There is no point having technology if you're going to roll it out to tourism operators who do not understand what you're talking about, because they will simply run away and not use it. So I'm very, very passionate about that and removing the barriers to entry for everybody in the space. Women, non-binary, whatever you identify as, it does not matter what your financial background is, what your race, your culture, we don't care. There is a seat at the table for everyone, and I intend to make sure everybody takes that seat.
Manuel, awesome, outstanding job. Congratulations for that. Really, thank you to be here again. However, I will be a panelist today, but as I said before, our moderator, Vice President of Marketing for Ray Tiger, will be here with us. Niha, I hope you get well pretty soon. However, I will present myself also for those that know about myself. I'm Vinicius Geraldo. I have 21 years working on the hospitality, on the distribution side and digital marketing, direct and indirect sales. I have a background that I already works in more than 37 countries, and under my umbrella, more than 3,800 hotels already managed and developed and solutions for them. Also, we have our group of companies is Latin Hospitality Group. We work where now our core business is providing digital marketing softwares and solutions for hoteliers and hospitality worldwide. Also with the destination, we just create, after working 8 years to get to a new solution, we just are starting negotiations with different destinations all over America. We have created Destination 360, where you can have everything for a destination, not just a directory, but be transactional 100%. So you can choose your hotel, you can choose your spa, your restaurant, the leisure, everything that we have on the destination. And also we have a social part where we provide also educational, very relevant educational content. I'm also founder at Travel Tech. So welcome everybody. Though I stop speaking about myself, that's okay. So thank you very much to be here. I would like to remind to our attendants, thank you to be with us. Also, that you are able for any platform that you're watching us at the moment, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. If you have questions, if you want to interact with us after we start our first round of questions, please do so. Just write down, and Travel Tech provides you the opportunity that you can interact and do your questions to this great panelists and executives that we have here today with us. So welcome everybody to Travel Tech APAC. Let's start with the first round of questions. So let's go with Mr. Roman. No, it's Alice Ferrari. Sorry, Alice. Sorry. So let's start with Alice Ferrari, CEO of KYTE. Alice, why are airlines investing in modernizing their retailing capabilities at the moment? I will repeat the question. Why airlines investing in modernizing their retailing capabilities at the moment? Alice, you have 5 to 7 minutes to express yourself, please.
Thank you. And I'm glad you asked, as I have basically built a business around it. I think we all would have noticed how much the online retailing experience has evolved over the years. When we go and purchase something online, we know that the retailer has some background about our preferences, has some background about what we've historically bought. When it comes to booking a flight, on the other hand, it is completely different. We often will get emails about booking a hotel in the place where we actually live, or there will be very, very limited options for us. As an example, when you have to book a more complex itinerary, you actually have to still call the airline, and there are no tools to really personalize the journey in a way that you need it to be so. And airlines have been trying to address this actually, and they have started to invest into retailing capabilities. as I said before, we've built this business around NDC, which is a big transformation that is happening in the this taken a while to happen in the industry. As I said, NDC stands for New Distribution Capability. You've probably seen it and read it because it's what everyone's talking about, except for the operational issues from this summer in Europe. But the standard is basically aimed at enhancing the way airlines and sellers communicate so that all of these options are much more available and there's much more flexibility in the way a person can book and service their flight. So one of the issues that we have seen is that obviously NDC, which is this basically investment of retailing capabilities, has taken a really long time. And this standard or protocol that's been developed, which is actually promoted by the International Air Transport Association, IATA, has taken a long time to be implemented. And it was designed about 20 years ago when the role of the internet was very different. Today we're going to address topics such as Web3, such as the metaverse, which obviously have a complete different level of engagement of an internet that existed 20 years ago when it was merely a one-stream communication, very passive. And airlines need to really equip themselves with the ability to influence the consumer into purchases or being able to curate content, and none of this was existent at the time. There was very limited use of data. So AI, machine learning are very much at the foundation of every way a retailer goes to market and puts their product in front of the consumer. Never mind, so airlines have really struggle to keep up with what is needed today, never mind preparing themselves for a world where there is blockchain, there is crypto, and the metaverse, which, as I said, is just a new form of engagement as well in the retailing space. So our system basically takes inspiration from NDC, this whole movement, but is applied to the needs of modern retailing. And I guess to wrap up the question, why airlines need to be equipped and invest in the proper abilities is because it takes a long time for airlines to adopt new technology. And I think by the time they've adopted technology for today, it will already be too late. Second, airlines are growing more and more reliant on ancillaries, which for the rest of the world are sort of the additional products that are not related to the flight. All the industry numbers show that without ancillaries, the industry wouldn't even be profitable. And as we all know, the industry is a very marginal industry already. And so airlines are heavily missing out on an opportunity for making more and better revenue, more efficient revenue by putting in front of the consumer options that are meaningful for them, but also to address a lot of the operational issues that today airlines face. A lot of people stranded at the airport. How can I service them better so that they can actually manage their own options without having to wait for hours in the queue, which result in, a lot of stress, holidays ruined, and terrible PR for the airlines and airports. And so we really envisage a world where the airline is much more intelligent and can preempt certain things. Some of the options that our system is already able to give airlines is the ability to market third-party products at the right time. And then a good example of that is, what if an airline could know that you had passed security late or there was a huge queue at Starbucks and say, look, rather than taking the risk of actually missing that flight, don't you want your Starbucks delivered to the gate? I'm sure consumers would be ready to pay a premium for that. So it is additional revenue that actually is meaningful to that consumer rather than offering me the option to stay in a hotel when I'm returning to my hometown. And again, the ability to address things at the right time and the right way. And I think that this is not too far away, but there needs to be very, very clever investments going on in order to achieve these goals. So I hope that answers your question, Vinicius.
I was in mute. I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Alice. If somebody else wants to add something about Alice, just say to us. No, I have a question, Alice. As you come in for the airline space, we have one airline that's just go through with NFTs for their first and business. They're the first one. I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong, or Qatar or Emirates, one of them, if I'm not wrong. How do you think this? Do you think this is something that the other lines will adopt, or are because it's really new. That's we need to understand that it's not something that everybody on the market and our trade globally it's up to say, okay, I have a seat, let's go. I want to pay with that. So that's the main point. What you can tell about that for us, a little bit, please, if you can.
Yeah, great question. And I'm a complete Philistine when it comes to this topic, but I've been observing it from a third party and trying to understand more about it. I think as the NFT.
We're having some echo coming from the sound. Maybe.
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't touched anything.
Xose, maybe it's from your computer. No.
I didn't touch anything.
I've stopped now.
No, I think stop. Yes.
Let me see. Just in case.
Yes.
So, and I have been watching it from afar. Obviously, as I said, I'm a Philistine in this space, but I think NFTs are being rolled out in other markets, and I think aside from the connotation of what they have around luxury brands and luxury art, I think they will introduce a new form of commerce and a new form of payment, and I guess they will be more adopted as they become more mainstream. I think you're right. There is Qatar has done a metaverse experience, but the first ever NFT ticket was sold by Air Europa, and they did this test or trial. And I guess, as I said, it's gonna probably roll out in a form of a new way of payment, I suppose.
Thank you so much, Alice. So thank you so much. Yes, Pamela, go ahead, please. You can answer.
Hi, Alice. I would love to ask a question just in relation to that as well. So NFTs, some communities are utilizing NFTs as more like a membership club. And obviously when you fly, you will have different levels of access to different types of flights, whether they are hyper, expensive or premium. And I see an opportunity there for, if you hold a particular NFT, it is a membership to a particular airline where you can access deals, short-term, long-term, or actually help you build up your air miles. So I see a lot of potential for NFTs and your line of business. But once again, it just comes back to getting these institutions to really embrace the possibility. And I always say to people, the only thing that limits you is your imagination. And if you can imagine it, there are people out there, there are developers, there are, ideas people who will help you achieve that. And it's certainly something worth thinking about moving forward.
Can I add something too? So I think for any business that wants to move into the NFT space, you got to ask them one thing, at least for now in the next 2 to 3 years. Can I do this without an NFT? If you can't digitize it, you don't need an NFT, don't do it. Because you're just going to make the current mass, because the mass adoption is not here yet. So you're going to force a bunch of people might not even have a crypto wallet, go and try to set up MetaMask, and you know how crazy it is, right? To buy an NFT so they can hop on a plane. So if you can do it, if there's no value to an NFT, don't do an NFT. If there's a value to an NFT, then think, what is the value? Then you do the NFT. So if you say, if I can do it with Web 2 technology, you don't need an NFT. So that's based on my experience, right? I had looked at a lot of failed NFT projects. That is because they're forcing their audience to move to a platform that none of them is used to or even had any interest of moving into. So you're going to go into NFTs because you're targeting a totally new target audience. people who has crypto wallet, who's native in the blockchain community, who already have the MetaMask or Phantom wallet, whatever wallet that they hold, and owns a lot of crypto. If not, that should not be part of your strategy.
Well, what would you say, Akina, to people who maybe come from a lower social economic background who purchase an NFT that will afford them the opportunity to access premium flights?
So then you have to add that as a campaign to the audience that are already in the crypto space. Your mass market will not, because of that, will go and buy crypto, will not go and set up a MetaMask. It just doesn't work. So it's a campaign to a target audience.
It doesn't work yet.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alice, Akina, and Pamela for ordering sites. So if nobody else have nothing to say about this, we're gonna touch more metaverse and more things during the entire session, super apps. If not, I go directly with Xose, Manuel, Feijoo, because right now we're gonna have questions about gamification. Because for myself, gamification is part of the metaverse, and I'm that kind of person that I'll give my opinion later on. Let's move forward with the questions. And I remind the public, we have already persons requesting things about super apps. We're gonna touch that. We're gonna touch base this and about your questions. Nitin Trehan, I'm gonna show your questions in a few minutes after we have Xose response from his answer. Just let's go with Xose. So Xose Manuel Feijoo, Head of International Sales to Boldest. Welcome again, Xose. Xose, how gamification can increase the engagement with your destination, DMOs, hotels, etc. Content. I'm going to repeat the question. How gamification can increase the engagement with your destination, DMOs, hotels, etc. That everything that we can have on a destination or in a smart destination. Please, all yours.
Okay, thanks for the question. I will start with a big trend that we are all aware of. And it's as simple as that we don't have time. All of us, we don't have time. But not only we don't have time, but also our attention span is narrowing and narrowing and narrowing. So all of us, we have more and more things to focus on, but at the same time, we are allocating less and less time to each of these new things that are in front of us. So in the past, we always heard that the content is the king. And now we are bombarded with content in all different platforms. So all of us, we are exhausted. Our attention is very limited because we have so many things to do, So for any brand, not only in the tourism space, but any space, the challenge is how do you ensure that the user, your clients, your prospects, they connect with your content? Okay, this is the big question that we have to face in any industry. So for us, if the crucial thing is not only the content, but is the engagement. For us, is the real king. So all the brands are investing a lot of money in creating this content, but a lot of times these contents are created in outdated formats that are just bring to the digital space. It's like the printed media that you're taking it to digital. So that's outdated and it's not working anymore. And the pandemic just have proved that new codes, new rules, they have to be done and put in place. So the answer in our case is this gamification. Is the perfect way to make that your content is more appealing. Once it's appealing, people spend more time in your environment, connecting with your brand. And in our case, we use maps. Basically the interactive maps. And why it's interesting and why we apply the rules of games. It's the first one is because it's very simple. We have grown up on learning how to navigate maps since we were kids. So we all of us can play this game, and which is the entry barrier that you have to solve. So simple as a web browser, as long as you have a web browser that all of us can handle it, and then Google Maps. Everybody understands Google Maps. If you are familiar with the game and the play, where to play, then it's very easy. And because maps are enticing, it's an invitation to explore. At the same time, other interesting part is that when you are playing, you are feeling that you are progressing. In the case of tourism, you are learning at your own space. When we are deciding about where to go, we have so many things to do, but you have to start from some points. And a lot of times finding that information is pretty complicated. You have to go from one place to another different platforms. So we simplify that process because maps is, on the maps, you put the different layers of information, you classify them. So for the user, it's very easy and very intuitive to explore. And as you are progressing that, you have this feeling of mastery that you have with your games, as you're progressing, how you play your game. So it makes sense. It's very basic tools, very basic game, but, this is what we're trying to do. And because this is a global language, we can do this very specific thing worldwide. Okay. And at the same time, you're doing it with privacy because as it is web-based, we don't need registrations or anything. We are not really trying to obtain data from clients in a sneaky way. And also the users, they feel that they are doing it with autonomy. They have in their own rules. So this is how we apply the rules of gaming into our platform, into Boldest. So as a brand owner, what are you getting with all of this? The most important thing is that you are delivering a better user experience. This is the most important thing. For us, the engagement, it has two metrics. The first one is the time that you spend, in the brand ecosystem. That's the first one, and our results show that through gaming, people spend much more time dealing with your content. And at the same time, the second metric is the number of resources or points of interest that you are viewing. So with those two metrics, it's a good demonstration that you're really communicating at your best. You're making the most of the content. Probably you're investing a lot of money into the content, so you put it there. And the next step is that you also amplify this information, because once you present through maps, through these engaging maps, and through these engaging games, through the different networks, people really amplify the message. Because, if you launch a campaign, let's say in Facebook, immediately the number of people that start engaging with the content through a map is completely different if you do it in a traditional gallery or picture. So this is what why we apply gaming through this simple game as they are. So this is the answer, and this is how we do it.
Thank you so much, Xose. I'm talking about when express gamifications. Maybe some person can say what those guys are talking about. They're telling that the terms is a game, but really it is at the end because let's go for our generation, for an X generation, for example, that we come from the 70s, but myself in this case. I remember Nintendo, we play Zelda, for example, with RPG, and we started Dungeons and Dragons, and then and if we think in gamification for the new generations that coming from 95 or in 2001, 2007, that's right now they have between 18 to 27 years old. They already have Diablo, and so a lot of gaming that the maps is very important. So it's very intuitive also for the public to how we use it and see most of the people play games on the board. So let's say that if somebody here said, I never play a game, I don't believe you. Sorry about that. So thank you so much, Xose. Somebody else wants to add something on top of Xose? Please go ahead. Pamela, please go ahead. All yours.
Yes. Joseph, just in relation to gamification and maps, will you be also bringing in outside partners so that you can roll this out on a global scale? And have you thought about maybe reaching out to, I hate to say it, but Google Maps, or is this something that you're just going to set up yourself?
No, I mean, we use Google Maps as the platform, okay?
Okay, great.
Because they have the global infrastructure, they have everything. Instead of creating ourselves that platform, we make the most of the platform. Obviously, one of our competitors is Google Maps. People can make on their own their maps. But as a brand owner, you should have control of how your information is presented in Google Maps, precisely because it's so widely adopted. So basically what we do is we clean Google Maps, we add the information that the brand owner wants, and we present it in a very engaging and visual way. Tomorrow, one of my colleagues will do a demo, but if you can imagine just navigating on a map, and as you see a point of interest, immediately a picture will come up in 0.3 seconds. So in very few seconds, you will have a lot of information. So if you're classifying, let's say, okay, your reef in Australia, or beaches, or museums, whatever, in a very fast way, you will have all the information. And once you see that, if it's appealing to you, you go inside, and it takes you to one place, takes you to another, So it's like a game. You are following different process. You start at the beginning, with a whole picture, and then step by step. And it's very easy to move from the detail to the whole concept. So it's very engaging.
Yeah, I love it. And I also think that having fun playing games has that connotation, makes you remember being a child again, and you have all those emotions coming to the fore. And then you combine that with tourism and travel. It's just like a Disneyland. It's a perfect storm. In Australia, we have obviously the Great Barrier Reef, but we have a company that actually maps out the Great Barrier Reef in hectares, and they're doing exactly the same what Google and yourself are doing, but they're doing it under the ocean so that you can categorize different experiences, different dives, etc. So it is fascinating, and that hyper customized contact for the tourist is amazing. So I think this is brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. I cannot wait to find out more.
The difference with other platforms is that in the past, most of the maps were, everything was about like the geography, about the geo-positioning and things like this. In our case, it's more about a marketing tool, how to make the most of what you already have. Let's say that you want to market your own NFTs for the reef. Maybe if you assign a location, specific location, visually engaging, maybe immediately people, you're taking them there from their website or from their desktop or from their mobile. You're taking it there. It makes it more tangible. So it's making more appealing for to show what you're showing.
Absolutely. I always say I'm taking people from an apartment in the Bronx, and I'm bringing them to the reef by utilizing that very technology. So it's fascinating to me. Thank you so much for answering that.
Welcome. So Xose and Pamela will be good that you connect after Travel Tech to Tech for Solutions.
We did already.
Okay, awesome. You did already.
We did, yes, we did. Yeah. I think I connected.
And tomorrow we're going to have the pitch session. Boldest will showing their platform to the public online. So welcome. Thank you so much. Everybody else, Akina, Roman, Alice, wants to add something here, or I move forward with the next questions?
I just have a very quick question. I'm sorry. I was just interested.
Sorry. Make your questions. The interaction here is the most important thing. Please.
Great. I was just interested in the application of gamification and maps, obviously related to marketing for travel. Do you have any use cases? Do you have any? Can you tell us a little bit more about if you've done any of that and if it's working?
Yes, of course. Most of our clients are DMOs, are destinations. They say you're based in the UK, with big DMOs. Okay, why? Very simple. They have already a lot of content, wonderful content. They have all the pictures, they have all the videos, they have all the text, they have all the translations, but they present it through outdated websites. Okay, where you have your galleries, your PDFs. I mean, you find so many stupid things. So there are a lot of clicks away. Okay, so what we do is, why don't we put thematic maps around certain areas? Let's say, okay, I want to find out about Fuerteventura beaches. They have wonderful Fuerteventura beaches. So, with very few clicks, you already have information in a global, like a whole overview, but also in a detailed overview. So, and how to reach there, or classify. Do you want a surfing beach, or do you want a family beach, or do you want with a blue flag? And let's say that's for an airline. That airlines, a lot of the content they create is precisely destinations. Okay, what to do in the Canary Islands. But most of the cases, they present it always with the same scheme: a landing page, few pictures, few galleries. Okay, but where is it? Okay, and the first question okay, where is it? How far is from my hotel? Where is my restaurant? The restaurant that I'm planning to do. And a lot of times what you have to do is to go to different websites, to change different platforms. If you unify that, it will be very easy. So for DMOs, let's say for Visit England, we say, okay, we can embed our generated maps into your site, and everything is there. The exploration is very easy because, as I said, it's autonomy on playing this game. Okay, I'm finding information that I want. It's not the information that is pushed to me. Most of the time we are pushing information and we want people to go through the gallery. First gallery, second gallery, third gallery. People, they just leave after the first gallery. They are not really interested. So, but we have plenty of use cases.
And the good thing about, for example, my turn, if you let me. We just told about gamification, for example. We are working on development for DMOs around the globe. At the moment, we have very good negotiations where we will work with Boldest because of their gamification. However, the difference that we have is provide a web app, not an application, because I really believe that first of all, as we know, you can have millions of downloads, but you'll be deleted maybe after 10 minutes or when they leave the destination. So what we do, for example, we provide like a directory, but everything's transactional. As Xose says, for example, you can say, I don't know, they have a tourist point, what I can do without going out of that gamification map. So we do that, but not using the gamification from Boldest, for example, but we also provide all the transactional. For example, if you're a hotel, or for example, I want to go to Playa del Carmen and Quintana Roo in Mexico. That's near to Cancun, for example. And I click in Playa del Carmen, I go for the touristic point directly, or Playa del Fines on Cancun, and I'll be able to see what I have to do in Playa del Fines. So you choose, and then Playa del Fines. Okay, what I have there? I have Cocobongo. Okay, just click on Cocobongo. What I can have? I can have food. I have the restaurants. I can pay a ticket to be outside on the disco during the day, and then buy the ticket for the disco during the night, or be part of the VIP group and pay more. So, or maybe you can arrange and say, okay, here you have, for example, a restaurant. What is their menu? Can I do the reservation for that directly online? Yes, you can. Then I want to go to the Isla Mujeres. So don't worry, you can buy the ticket directly for just one place. You have everything, or what we call Destination 360. That is our brand. That is very close with the Xose and Manuel Feijoo, with the gamification that we will use for those destinations. And we provide all the solutions. Like an extranet, doesn't matter if it's a hotel, it's going to be an extranet that's booking.com. If not, they will have, if they're a restaurant, if they're a spa, if you rent a surfboard, for example, everything that you have on the tourism site, in one place, you can find everything, and also the experience. So just the one thing I want to add here. And the most important thing for DMOs right now, we need to think in that smart destinations to have different kind of solutions for the smart destinations. Xose have one that's gamification. Then we can have others providing Bluetooth connectivity with an app where you can walk around connected to your cell phone. It can tell you pass through, hey, you're passing this tourist point here in the city. Then you're going to have an alert in your own cell phone. It can tell you the story about it in more than 5-7 languages. But in my point of view, a smart destination needs to be transactional. If not, don't help, because it's going to be at the end only a directory. And directories, as we know, they're very expensive, and they don't provide any profit for. And normally, tourists, that people that will go, even as a corporate tourism, if we want to talk about, they don't use that. They prefer go to other places to buy. But when you have a destination that is a smart destination, this is transaction, you have the gamification part, you have everything in one place, And even you can are going to be there for 5 days. You can create your own route. What are you going to do to those 5 days? And you have an agenda and the cell phone and tell, hey, 4 hours, you need to go to the Playa Mujeres, or you do. So you're going to have everything in one place. That is, in my point of view, one is the point that is the future for DMOs. Also, that will reduce costs and, for example, reduce costs and commissions, because the commissions are less than OTAs or tour traders. Of course, I don't think when you go transactional, you're going to compete with hotel beds, booking.com. That is not the point here, or Airbnb. It's a different point. It's to take a part of the share of the market and providing all the information and all the transactions for the entire environment of a destination, not only the hotels, not only the parks, everything. Even if you want to, I need the police, I need a hospital, I'm a tourist, I know I have, maybe I'm searching and have a lot of phones. No, there we're gonna give you a direct line to help you out if you have a problem, for example. And at the same time, there's more destinations that can use this kind of technology. Also, will help to grow the economy on the destination, because you offer everything, and what you're doing, it's connecting each peer, each company directly with the customer, and they can buy directly with them without intermediaries. So that's all for my part. Already make my question and answer it. Go, Pamela.
Just in relation to what you were saying there, that is also going to promote your eco-friendly resorts, your environmental. It's going to cut down on a lot of environmental carbon footprint, because you're going to be easily access what you want to do, where you want to do, when you want to do it, without having that carbon footprint. So I think a lot of the younger generation now are definitely more environmentally aware. We are reverse engineering the education through children about the environment and the impact that daily living has on the environment. So if you're offering this type of service, it's going to minimize the tourist environmental footprint, carbon footprint.
Yes, that's for sure. You don't need any kind of footprint at all. For example, in any destination point, you can have a QR codes in different parts of the city. If you're passing by, just read with your phone, you'll be connected with the web app, and they're going to tell you, okay, you're in this part of the city. This is the first point. What do you have to do here? And where you have, there's an historical point with the pictures, and then you have the map and say, where your location is this one. And next to you, we have this restaurant, we have this spa, we have this park, we have this hotel, we have this disco. Let's make disco. I need vacation.
You're showing your age. You're showing your age there with the disco. It's at the club.
Yeah, it's the club. Okay. I'm getting old, Pamela. I'm getting old. I'm a disco fever guy.
You both. but I also love the fact that, as long as the satellites keep going round, or as long as the blockchain is maintaining that decentralization, we have access to these tools, and it's going to really improve the consumer experience. And that's what this is all about. So I think it's extremely clever. I'm very, very excited to hear more. Love it.
Sure. I don't will do a presentation tomorrow about this, but for sure we can connect later on, and I can show you what we have built already, and it will be my pleasure to do that. Okay, so I go to the next question. That is going to be, let me check here my list of questions. So let's go with Akina Ho, Great Eagle Holdings Limited. Akina, thank you again to be here. So how many hotels will understand the impact of metaverse and NFT on their business model and marketing efforts in terms of brand and building, loyalty, and driving sales? I will repeat the question. How many hotels will understand the impact of metaverse and NFT on their business model and marketing efforts in terms of brand and building, loyalty, and driving sales? Akina, all yours, lady.
Okay. So from right now, from the press and everything, I have not seen any hotels that is brave enough to venture into this space. That's number one. And I've heard some projects I'm going to share with you guys, which I hope if there's any hotelier here, they won't do it. So then one of the concept was like to sell NFT as a room ticket. I said, why the hell would you want to sell NFT for room? So there's two issues with that. Number one, the mass market, who are your client, may not even have a crypto wallet. They wouldn't even know how to buy the damn NFT. So second thing, let's say that you go with a vendor, they said, oh, they can swipe the credit card, like MasterCard right now is allowing you to swipe a credit card and buy an NFT. And then that's a whole technical aspect you need to work with your IT team and understand how traditional IT and traditional technology in hotel IT team is. It'll take them at least 2 years to get it certified before they even get to use it. By that time, that idea is dead. Okay, so that's gone. Okay, the third most important thing, and there's an understanding that the value of NFT is that they can be resold at a higher value. But a lot of time, your room rate, you actually resell at a lower value than a higher value. If I can book on booking.com at a cheaper rate and quicker, why would I want to buy an NFT that sells me the same room at a higher rate? That doesn't really mix, right? Not only that, if you do sell the NFT at a lower rate, then you kill your room rate in your own website and booking.com, and you violate the contract with your partner. So that idea goes away. You don't even have to think about it. So I heard some things like that. Then I heard another thing is doing it as a digital voucher for like staycation and experience and stuff. Don't do that also. Because if you're going to do a digital voucher, you can do that really well on a Web2 technology. You don't need the complication of doing it on an NFT. There's nothing there for you. It's the same logic how I talk about the room rate stuff, but it's a little bit different, right, for experiences. So don't make it complicated when you're trying to sell something. So like I said, you're going to do an NFT, do it very different. So if any hotels out there that's think it this way. Number one, I'm marketing to a brand new audience that normally does not go to my hotel. Because these people are like playing in Fortnite, playing Roblox, have a crypto wallet, trade, ETH, and, BTC on a daily basis. These are your audience who would buy NFT for the hell of collection or for fun or using as a digital voucher or something like that. These are the people who will venture and do that for fun, right? So it's a long-term strategy. You need a whole new department that talks about it. This is something all hotelier needs to do. Because sorry to say, we're going to die out in 10, 20 years. If we're lucky, we'll live to our 80s and 90s. If we're not, we'll be dead in 10, 20 years. Now, who takes over our spending power will be the young kids who's playing games in Fortnite, in Roblox, and things like that. They will be your big spender. So if you don't build that, and then that in hotel, building a department of technology takes at least a couple of years. At that time, they'll be in the 13, 14 years old. They have spending power. Tell the truth, I meet 18-year-olds are richer than me, right? They own Bitcoins, like off the yin yang, because they bought it when it was like 500, or like they bought ETH when it was like $3 US, right? And they thought it was fun because it was like utility, the games that they play on Roblox, right? So their buying power is way higher than any of us here. Because we grew up understanding that making money is hard work. We don't make it overnight from $3 to $3,000 in like a couple of years. That doesn't happen, right? And so these concepts of hotels and moving into the NFT and metaverse space, they got to plan early. They had to find the talents, people understand it, and understand what is the value to bring on top beside the new audience. Second most important thing for hotel, what is it? Brand. What does your brand stand for this new audience? How do you extend your brand in the new space? Extend, okay? If you're going to keep your old brand, people's going to hate me. A lot of hotel brands are very old, very heritage, great, very prestigious, awesome. But does that carry the same value to the young people who's coming in to spend money? Are they going to your hotel at all? What's wrong with your hotel to them? What's your experience like? What is their expectation? Do you know? Treat it as a whole new branding experience for a whole new audience. That's two things already, right? And the last thing, in the world, every hotel, every business, all the website will be a metaverse. Do not treat the metaverse of what it is being displayed now. Treat metaverse as a technology that we can use to change the way you represent your company and service your clients. Every website will be a metaverse. You will act in 3D. Please do not think like you're going to wear goggles and talk to people. In 10, 15, 20 years, we don't know if that goggles still exist. I heard that recently for the name of the company, they formed a contact lens that, basically serves as your Oculus or Google glasses or something like that. You never know. Maybe in 5 years, there should be a chip that we get implanted in our head that operates a part of our, brain. And then we want to say, hey, Google, where's the street? We see it in front of our eyes. We don't even have to type anything. We talk to people. We order things through our brainwave. So I'm not sure how I love telling this story. I'm sure all of us have seen Back to the Future. I think I'm a little bit younger. Okay, maybe it's like so. Like in a Michael J. Fox, when he was imagining how fax was when he was traveling 20 years ahead, he said it was awesome how fax would appear in every single mailbox, and he just go and open it wherever he travels. But where is fax now? I bet you, Alicia, she doesn't even know what a fax is. Okay, she's so young. So what the hell are you talking about, Kina? What is a fax machine? So, like what we know today, the technology exists that we think we're going to advance may not even exist in 5, 10, 20 years. So, like innovation, transformation has to be that way. I have a whole new idea how airplane, traveling, hotels should exist in 10, 20 years from now. It's not what it is today. And all the incremental innovation and things we're improving it is called incremental disruption. What we're talking about is real dynamic disruption, right? And then that whoever can get it, understands it, built it, capture it, will build a whole new world of what hospitality and travel is. That's, I don't want to destroy what I'm going to talk about later. So
thank you, Akina, for all the insights. Really helpful. Concerning metaverse, when we right now at the moment, as we for a lot of statisticals, what we check is still metaverse is using for a lot of games, and that the public we have a lot of brands going to the metaverse, but the users of the metaverse, they are not even interacting with those brands at the moment. Okay.
No, this is where I wanted to chime in. So those that you hear a lot online, the press from like Decentraland and the Sandbox, okay, they are trying to market their brand in a platform that has a daily user of less than 2,000 a day. There are a few brands, Nike, Gucci, Givenchy, okay, they you know where they're putting it in? They're putting it in Fortnite. They put it in Roblox. You know what is the daily user at Roblox? 300 million active user a day.
Yeah, I have my daughter that use Roblox. I think after this call, before she wake up, I will go to the cell phone and already erase. I hope she's young, so I hope she don't use my credit card for go to an NFT.
I'm sure she does. Because Roblox is really good at getting kids to spend their parents' money to build virtual lands and buying virtual,
Yeah, she do. She has her virtual veterinary stuff there. And she makes her whole building and hotel right now. And I just
exactly. I mean, so that's where it works for the young kids. But these kids are like, I bet you your child's like maybe 12, 13 years old. Some is even like 5 or 6 years old, younger. I think 7, right? So my niece was 3 when she was playing it. My nephew was 4, I think, or 3.5. And then the first time I heard of Robot was a couple of years ago when she screamed and said, "Who stole my 6 unicorn?" I'm like, what is that? And then everybody said, "No, I didn't do it." They're all playing, 6 of them sitting there lined up, so quiet, so disciplined, playing their games because they're on Roblox. And then my nephew is only 6 months older and said, "I didn't steal your unicorn." He looked over, "But I can trade my 6 unicorn for your 2 dogs. And I was like,
yesterday, for example, she's speaking to me and said, "Hey, you see my cat? Tomorrow she was in the morning she was doing this kind of stuff. Right now she's doing that." I said, "What cat? We don't have cats. We have pit bulls at home." He said, No. Here, Roblox. I said, "Okay." Okay, I need to adapt myself.
I gotta share this case study. The brands that doing really well, making real money and building real engagement with their new user in the metaverse, they're not doing any press release. They're not telling you about it because it's so successful. I believe it was, I think Nike's one. I think the use case was, was Gucci. They coupled in the metaverse with a Web 2 technology. You know how Web 2 you can go to, it's augmented, so it's kind of still considered Web 2. It's not on black or anything. So you can actually take a picture of your face and then they'll put lipstick on you and all that stuff. So in the Roblox, you can play games, and then when you get to the counter, they introduce their products to you, and you can actually, they implemented this already existing augmented reality technology inside the metaverse game to engage with the user, to make them buy lipsticks and cosmetics and glasses and things like that, real stuff, not digital stuff. They make a killing. Okay, they sell more things virtually on that. And I don't know if anyone's doing it. One of my ideas, if they're smart, is like you actually let them buy the real one and they tag on like just maybe 10% more, and they buy a digital version of that lipstick so they can put on when they're playing games, and the earrings and the hat or whatever. Just add a little bit more, so that's extra for you, and it's digital. You're already in there, so like free advice. That was voting for my business model. You guys can have it. So it's so easy, and reverse it for the people who are not in the metaverse. Reverse it.
But I think the NFT, for example, on this gamification of the metaverse, will be used for the next generations and the new generations that come and by. Just say I will give you the word. Just give me 1 second. However, when we talk about DMOs or smart destination, I think metaverse maybe can help. Maybe we will need to see before you're traveling to understand your environment, where it will be, where you have near. Right now we have maps, interactive maps. We can tell you what you have, but maybe metaverse you can maybe not drive through, walking through, or navigating on the metaverse for a destination. However, I don't think that, for example, if I talk about hotel industry, and if I talk about the receptive on that the destinations, it's something that will impact at the moment. I think will take a lot of time. I'm going to tell you why. And 21 years working on the distributions side, we still have. I'm talking about independent hotels. I'm not talking about the big chains that already invested on the metaverse, but for the independent hotels or resorts or small chains. And small chains that can be for 2 to 35, 50 hotels. I don't see them going in the metaverse really fast, or that will be an impact on the tourist driver. Why? Because it's 20 years we have channel managers and booking engines, and it will still a lot of hotels that even don't have a good website, don't have a booking engine, or is still using Excel. So for big chains and big brands, but this is my position right now. For sure, maybe this will change during the time in the future. But right now, on the next wave, because we have a lot of people saying in 5 years, everything will change. In 5 years, everything will do in the metaverse. I don't believe it, to be very honest, because you move all those independent for the tourism side is going to be very difficult. Maybe if that applies for a DMO and you have a secretary of tourism for a government or associations, and maybe to build the entire destination on the metaverse, then I think this will be more affordable and will be more helpful for those independent hotels or independent companies that provide tourist services or rentals or a lot of different things. For example, this is my point. My with the humility is my point of view. I think it's the future, but we are coming through. Xose, you want to say something? I'm so sorry.
No. It's basically in the same direction. The question was going to be in the same direction. On Monday, I have a meeting with the managing director of one hotel chain. They have more than 100 hotels in Spain, and they are expanding very rapidly. So, Akina, what can I sell to them regarding the metaverse? Because firstly, I really like your first comment originally when you said, well, basically, if it doesn't provide value, if you already can provide value with a traditional digital, go for it. Don't get into this new thing. So my question is, how can I convince this gentleman to move into metaverse? Because if it's only for creating, capturing a new audience, there are other ways of capturing the new audience. Also, I guess that the restrictions of catching that audience is very high. Why? Because if they come from the really gamified space where they have thousands and thousands of developers doing the coolest things and the fastest things, and this, when they go to the metaverse and it's some kind of Mickey Mouse metaverse, it's bad for your brand. I suppose that it's banned from that. I haven't got a clue about it, but my point is, how can I be like your reseller to this gentleman.
Okay.
Hey,
No, I would
Amanda,
love to share because
it's
this
about
is a
how can-
strategy.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a very good question, and that's a great case study, right? A lot of hotels, they don't understand, especially a 100 hotel. It's not a small chain, right? So they're mid-size, they're pretty good, so they have a great audience. So when I look at technology implementation, I always try to be a little bit greedy. I deploy it, but I want to make sure there is initial value, which is target the new audience. But taking that technology, I'm bringing my mass audience along with me in time. Because the mass audience or your core audience who may not adapt to not technology will be influenced by the new technology in time. Like how social media took 10 years for it to be where it is today, right? It slowly. How online booking take at least another 10 years. Like even after 20 years, not every company has an e-commerce business, though it's so easy to set it up and sell things online. It takes time, but you don't need to get 100% of them on the platform. You slowly migrate them, right? So easing them off. So then when the mass public, the rest of the world is ready for that technology, you already are the first one to provide it on it and has experienced and tested, know what worked, what failed. So when you adapt the latest technology in that realm, you'll be better off than anybody else because you already did your R&D, you already did your trial, you already failed. Now those latecomers that start coming with the new tech, is going to be hella difficult for them to adapt. A big steep curve for the audience. Not only that, will cost them a lot of money to suddenly switch because you know what? During the 3-4 years that they didn't do it, they invested in old technology that be obsolete when that new technology comes along. So that's why I said you got to look, especially who are technologists. We all know it takes at least 2 to 3 years to deploy a new system. And it takes another 1 to 2 years to build adoption, to be in critical mass. So it's a 5-year plan. If you spend a couple $100 million to build a technology, 5 years, and you go live, and you finally suddenly a new technology comes and wipe it off, right? You're going to start all over again. So predict what your strategy is, where you want to go, and map it out, right? And say, well, I want to waste money for this next 5 years, and I have to spend again to move to the next, the real thing, the way the trend, the ultimate trend is. For a lot of companies who didn't move to e-commerce, and they like right now, a lot of hotel has problems because they have a lot of legacy system. I think airline is the same, right? A lot of legacy system they cannot get rid of, and they don't want to get rid because it's sunk cost. But the things that they have to rip that band-aid off, they cannot always give such a bad user experience. It's just like you said, you know, I'm so amazed that Lisa actually said, why is it up to now that I just booked my flight? I had to pay, I'm going to say that the Singapore Airlines is going to hate me. So mad at them because it was so hard for me to change my flight. I had to cancel my flight and rebook it for another date. They charged me $270 Sing dollars, refused to give it back to me because they said the next flight I booked was cheaper. It has nothing to do with cheaper flight. I just changed my date. The date was cheaper. So I was really upset because your system is so damn hard for me to make an edit to my trip. I had to cancel and rebook it. So why is it so hard? It's because all the legacy system in the back. If they're going to compete in the metaverse world, when the metaverse happen, when new airlines are coming, they're not going to make it. They're going to cost so much and so pain. Not only that, the people who are in charge, I blame on the people who's on the top of the management. Because they're the one who calls the shot and has the money and has the budget and the power to say where we move. If these people don't have the right mindset and don't understand what the future is about, they will stop and they will spend a lot of money. That will be obsolete in 5 years. So that would be your strategy. This is how you would lead them. Where are you? What is your vision? Is your hotel chain going to last 5 years, 10 years, or you want it to be a long-term hotel? You want to sell it in 5-10 years? Then you don't want to spend all that money. Or you say, hey, this is going to be a brand. It's going to be long. I want to continue to grow it. It's going to be an icon in the young generation to come. Then they need to start building that strategy. It's a long-term strategy, okay, with short-term plays available too. But you got to know where you want to head with it. Every major company out there needs to start thinking about Web3. What does it do? How does it impact your business long-term? I have killed a lot of startup idea because I said, your startup will die. because Web3 already working on something like that, and your Web2 technology in that space will die, right? So you got to look at it. So like a lot of company right now who are smart, pivoting the business model basing on blockchain, decentralized, right? On DeFi models, on DAO models, right? And tokenization, play to earn, place to gain. So like the pivoting. So because they pivot, they no longer compete in the same saturated space of the Web2 business. They pivot and they move into a whole new space. No one's in there. So by the time they can build in the same space and compete in the same, but the value will be very low because they pivot out. They're the only one who's playing it. So they move faster than anybody else, and what they offer will be extremely more amazing, right? So anyone who wants to reach out to me, I'm on LinkedIn, and we can always talk. I love working with strategy.
Akina, I love what you said there, and I understand what you mean. We are extremely early. We are so early, and I say that the metaverse or Web3 space moves at the speed of light right now, and we don't need a telescope for that. But I do believe that, the blue ocean that we're talking about, these companies developing their own blue ocean, or these hotels or whatever it is, that has to be utilizing new technology. And as you said, coming from the top, but how do you access the corporate leaders right now who are stuck in the old institutionalized way of operating, where we have a business plan, we have a marketing plan, we have to do A, B, C, and D. And I think it's there where we need the innovation. It is there that we need that upskilling. There we need to go in and train, teach, coach, mentor, whatever it is you want to call it, those CEOs who are leading those bigger organizational chains.
Pamela, you're so right. Someone told me, one of my colleagues in one of my companies said that, Akina, like your reputation, that people are afraid of you. I said, what do you mean they're afraid of me? I'm tiny. I'm very sweet. I smile all the time, And I said, because they think that you're going to make trouble in their department. You're disrupting, you're pushing them to think differently, and people are afraid of that. I think you need a person like that in every organization to make you feel uncomfortable, to make you see things differently. I have looked at a lot of hotel marketing plans. They're all dead plan, mysterious. Everybody's coming up with the same loyalty program like Bonvoy, right? Tell me something different. No one is, and then I always challenge all membership platform. Why are you trying to force me to spend my points only with you? Why is that? I don't travel that much. I don't live in the airplane. I don't live in hotels. Why can't my loyalty point allows me to buy things that I want to spend, that I want to use? A Michelin star dinner, champagne, Dom Perignon, all you can drink, right? Like, or a test drive at Aston Martin and afternoon tea for free at St. Regis. Isn't that something you would love to get as a loyalty? Like, I don't have to find us to get that because I stayed at a Hilton or Marriott or whatever it is. Think out of the box, do something different. That's what the young people, that's what they expect. It's like they don't like to be like a capture audience. Like a lot of people like to, let's capture them and charge them twice the cost because they're stuck in the airport. Horrible business model. People get upset. They have to do it, but they don't like it. And then really bad brand building, I think, right? So Pam, I think you're right. How do we get an executive to think like that? I hope that they listen to panel like this. They actually listen, like seriously, go to a lot of like Web3 and listen to what people are doing. Really don't dismiss it. I know a lot of my friends thinks I'm crazy because I'm advocating Web3. They say, Akina, you're going to destroy social, like behaviors. You're going to kill people's relationship because you're promoting metaverse. I'm not promoting metaverse. I'm promoting the technology, the potential that can change the way you interact, the way you present things, sell things, and offer things. It's the technologies, not the metaverse itself, right? It's up to the company what they want to use and build that. And I think it's really tough when a company has been built upon a lot of hierarchy and they're so used to traditional plan and business model that you said they don't understand that the revenue that they can increase or the business they want to get back is very incremental. Innovation enhancements bring incremental revenue stream, Okay. And that's like squeezing every last bits of your toothpaste. I'm sure everybody does that, right? By the time you squeeze at the end of it, you can't, and what do you do with it? You trash, you get a new one. But you get, so, but we don't do that. We don't change a new one. We try to go back to the same one, squeeze as much as possible. Even though that same idea, business model gives you negative return, you still do it. It's awful, right? And then I always say, and I haven't talked about, I'm not sure if this is the right time to talk about it. All the stuff we're talking about, I call it them also like, incremental innovation for the hotel sector. Now, if we're talking about disruptive innovation for the travel and the hotel sector, imagine this. Airplanes do not take you to places only. They take you to another world. For example, I was talking to some friend, and then this friend of mine said that, he missed the 1990s, where you can sing karaoke, you put dots, you would do all that stuff. He said his vacation ideally would plug in for 2 weeks and he traveled back in time. Based on AI and machine learning, his friends were there, his parents are there, based on the memories that they feed through, and he will live in there. It's not for us, like I say, not for us. Like that is his ideal vacation, where he can visit people he missed, hang out with them again, but the personality and everything is learned by AI, and it goes back in there. That is, I know you guys might, if you tell Michael J. Fox that we will have WhatsApp and Twitter and, TikTok, he would think you're crazy, because fax was the big thing, right? So imagine and then hotels would be like instead of staycation, you actually go there and then you actually virtually live physically with things that holographic, with rooms changing, things like that. You do whatever you want. It's a different type of thing. Now, because I'm coming from a conglomerate that built hotels, it takes sometimes between 5 to 10 years to build one hotel. So what if you buy a land now? You're going to build a hotel. Do you want to build one that's ready for 10 years from now? Or you want to build the same hotel that everybody's living in now? So that's just a question. I don't have the answer. But imagine that the young generation, they wake up, now they're going to be, your daughter's going to be 17 then, right? I'm thinking, she might have some of her own money. How would she want to spend her vacation, right? How would traveling be anymore, right? There's a lot of people working on holographic technology right now. A lot of people think metaverse means I have to wear a goggle. It may no longer be that. It'll be holographic. And then basically, Pamela was sitting in front of me. If I want to touch her, I reach out and touch her, and she feels something from me, like, hey, what's up? How are you? You never know. You don't have to fly. So flight, going someplace will be reduced in the future, or flight will be changed, because I would go to an airplane, but I will go to someplace else. The airplane takes me in the future, in the past, that where I want to go. We saw this in movies before. You think I'm cuckoo, but hey, a lot of our current technology has come to life based on things we saw 10, 20 years ago. Right?
But think, Akina, as well, it's to do with human emotions, feelings. It's how you make people feel. And I think that is something, and it's the old skill set that we had for years and years, maybe in direct selling too. It's very much a case of, if you can make people feel something, you're on a winner. So you've got to think outside the box and go back, especially after COVID, go back to making people feel good. And if you can package that up and deliver that to these corporate executives and explain the ROI on that, you're on to a winner.
Yeah. And also, like with inflation, right? Right now we have 9% in the US.
Oh, sorry, I just will request just to answer, because we have half an hour more, and I will need to answer some questions from the public. And also we have a few questions more that I need to pass to Roman and Pamela. So if we can go.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to put the conversation. It's great. And I also want you to add something. I think metaverse is a revolution, but it's still young, and we'll need to check how that will come. But I still think that the experience will be on place. Don't be online. You need people. You want to talk with people. And for example, we have some hotels that's 100% robotical and now automate. I don't think the future of hoteliers will be that neither, because people want people. if you want to be attended, not by robots. The experience the robots cannot give you. You can give a technological experience, but will be really specific, or maybe 1-2 times. But I don't think that will change. It depends a lot on the culture of each country, for sure. So, sorry to interrupt, Akina, but go ahead.
No, that's great. No, this is what this is about, for us to argue.
Of course. I will go right now with the next question. That is for Roman Thousand, the managing director of Belvera Partners. Roman, we are talking about a lot of metaverse, a lot of little things here, and we cover about your questions. What is your thought about the future of tourism, not only on metaverse, on NFT or gamifications or DMOs or airlines? What do you think that we will improve, or what's your vision about the market? Tell that Belvera Partners has, and for those that don't know, one of the most important tech maps built in the world is from Belvera Partners. So if you want to double check that, you can access their website. You can go to traveltech.space. You go to our agenda and our forum today. You're going to have the website and the LinkedIn of Roman. And Roman has built with his company one of the biggest maps for the technology industry. So if you want to know the change, it's very nice, because it's like you take the metro, and the metro stations, you have lines and the different colors for the different segments of the travel tech. So it's amazing. Don't lose the opportunity. Go to our Belvera Partners website and double check what they have built. So I just put in this to understand your vision, and you also have so many really important brands under our umbrella that you develop communication for them and a lot of other stuff. So I would like to know your thinking. That for us is going to be really helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the plug for the map. Go to our website. It's a map of the world of B2B travel, and it's like a tube map. It's not virtual. It's not 3D. It's a simple, 2D map. In fact, I've got some printed copies here that I'll bring over in a second, so you can all have a look. What's our take on this? So we work with a lot of clients across the travel tech space, and we were also at Focusrite in Amsterdam recently. So in anticipation of this and off the back of other things that are going on with clients and so on, I've been asking pretty much everyone I know recently, do you own any Bitcoin, and have you been in the metaverse? And the answer is pretty much universally no. Younger people more likely, older people less likely, and there've been some surprises, but pretty much universal. The universal answer is no. So in a minute, I'm a big believer in this. I believe that the metaverse, whatever that really means, because I still don't really know what that means, and we'll come to that in a second as well. But I believe it's got enormous potential for the travel industry. However, when I look across my portfolio of clients and people I meet, I don't see anyone, not one person, who's investing any money, time, or effort or energy into trying to do something in it. Doesn't mean that it's not got the potential. We'll come to that in a minute. So I thought, asking all these people about have you been in the metaverse, I sort of thought, well, actually, I've not really properly done it. So I went and got myself some Oculus Quest glasses the other week, right? In fact, it cost me 450 euros. It took about a week to arrive. It took me about an hour to get it out of the box and work out how it works, the basics, like put it on. And then it took me about another 2 hours to set it up and do the virtual sensors and do the training course. I then realized that the walkthrough thing hadn't worked properly, syncing it with my Wi-Fi. What were the other problems? You have to use Facebook. I haven't used Facebook in about 2 years. I just literally never go on it, finding my password. It's heavy on your head. It made me feel sick after using it for about half an hour. I'm not sure if that's going to go. You have to download an app. It's not clear how the battery's charged. I'm still trying to work that out. There's risk. One of my friends used one. He ran into a wall. He hurt himself. I've got a little step in my office. I nearly fell down it. This is not easy, right? This is a lot of effort to go and do this. This is the point that I'm trying to make. Then on the other side, once you're in there and you want to pay for things, you need crypto, right? Well, setting up a crypto wallet, again, something I only did the other week, that's quite complicated. Coinbase and all these people, they want proof of address documents. I rent a house. I don't get a lot of my bills and things sent in my name. I had to email them specially, set up an account. not very easy. I still can't work out how to buy an NFT, by the way. So Pamela or Akina, if you could help me. Don't seem to be able to find that option on there. Doing all of this with the metaverse, then eventually I'm in, and really all it is so far that I can experience are games, some really cool games and some really interesting use cases that I'll come to in a second that I can think of for the travel industry. I've heard people talking about, but wow, talk about complicated. And now I understand why a lot of people aren't doing that. And then interestingly, to come back to your point, Akina, about Decentraland and Sandbox, Decentraland, you can't access it in virtual reality, right? So it's just a kind of 2D, do it on your thing. You can't even get it on your mobile telephone,
Yes.
right? Or on your iPad. I've no idea how I even get myself in there, because that kind of stuff I don't even do on my phone or my iPad. I'm not going to do it on my desktop.
Like 10 times. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go. And then once in, you need crypto to pay for things.
Yes.
So I think we're in terms of. I think the tech is there because I can see, visually, but in terms of the user experience, UX, in terms of the simplification of it, this reminded me of when I went on the internet for the first time in 1997 in my school library, and I was super excited about it because I booked a slot, and then someone explained to me, you need to type in the address of where you're going to. It's like saying I'm going to visit Los Angeles and I just want to go to a bar or something. Well, you need an address. You don't just get in a taxi and. Well, in fact, in LA, you probably would get taken by a taxi to a bar in 1997, but you get my point. And I left that experience in 1997 really disappointed, because the only website I could find was Coca-Cola, I think, because I just thought of brand names and I typed them in. And other than that, that was it. I was distraught, and I didn't go back for another 2 whole years. My dad spent his whole career working in the IT industry, always had a computer at home. I knew how to use a computer from when I was a small child. I should have been one of the first people in there, but instead I was put off by this poor experience. I'm determined not to let what's happened here with my the Meta experience to damage that. Not least because the games are really cool, and I can see how some of the games will do. But coming to the use cases and how the travel industry can use it, and the things I've heard my clients talking about, for down the line and so on. I think to one side you've got this whole will younger people ever want to experience everything in the metaverse, or virtual reality or whatever, and won't go on holiday and won't fly or not. I don't know the answers to that. I suspect not. I don't think anything's going to be real world experiences. But if you think about the kind of augmented reality and virtual reality potential for this, so for people to go and experience a destination, people to walk around a hotel, to go into the room and say, okay, well, I'm going to be coming here on holiday in 2 weeks. I don't like those sheets. I don't want that room. I want the one with this view, and all those kind of things. Think about when you're plugged in, it can make you seem like you're in a much bigger space. So that way, people going on airplanes, and a lot of airlines are looking into this, or there's companies looking into the tech for this. The challenges right now for airlines are if you wear the goggles whilst you're on a plane, you get a bit sick apparently, so they need to develop some tech that counteracts the movement of the airplane. But that could be a brilliant use. Concerts, those kinds of experiences, guided tours, obviously, and then also the customer service interaction, and the ability as well, whether it's via augmented reality or via virtual reality. If you imagine you're in your hotel room and you can't work out how the safe works or how the shower goes, instead of the person having to come all the way up the stairs and show you, they can explain it to you via a virtual reality thing. Turn your hand right, you press this, press that. So I think there's limitless potentials that the travel industry is going to be able to have, and I don't know how long it will take, but I think pretty quickly people will be booking, reserving, doing customer service within that kind of environment. We might see an environment where people return to the old-fashioned retail, travel agents on your high street. Instead, you'll be going into a virtual travel agency, and you better sit there face to face with the travel agent. They'll be able to take you through the experience and then literally sort of guide you and say, okay, we're now going to jump into, whatever part of the world it is you want to be in. You think about things like Google Street View and that kind of stuff. If they can just get the tech just a little bit better on that, you'll be able to start to walk down the street and experience those things. So I feel hugely confident there's a virtually sort of limitless potential, and that we'll maybe experience things, coming back to the sort of the facts comparison that somebody made there earlier on, in ways that maybe now we can't quite imagine. But given the tech challenges and that a significant amount of people in the world aren't necessarily offline, but want to experience and buy things offline. You look at Latin America, I think it's something like 80% of hotels are still sold face to face there, not even via telephone or via the internet. In the UK, it's still about half of all sales for holiday packages, one way or another, happen offline, whether it's by telephone, the brochure. You look at the cruise industry, that's another example. Older people obviously go on cruises, but the vast amount of the cruise industry is still sold via the brochures. Someone's looking through and say, I want that room. And I noticed my grandmother does this, and she gets to the ship and she's not happy. She gets out the brochure and she shows them and says, but that's the picture that was in the brochure, and that's so. And those people, that's not going to change anytime soon, and we're all living longer. So maybe it's going to take a while until we get there. So lots of thoughts from me, but on the one hand, I'm really buying into this and seeing the huge potential, and I believe that companies, like you were saying, Akina, they've got to think about when they get into this to be in the right part of the cycle. But if you're just really going all in and you're saying, no, we're going for a younger audience, we're going for the tech savvy people, then yes, this is going to be an audience that's going to grow probably as quickly as the internet grew in user numbers and e-commerce transactions from, say, the mid-90s, when it was really quite slow. But then you think into the 2000s, this become inexorable growth. But yeah, there's still some barriers to entry that make this kind of the metaverse world that you read about in the newspapers of people going around Decentraland in augmented virtual reality costumes, attending parties and drinking champagne and stuff. I think that's as geeky and rarefied now as probably it was using the internet back in the late 1980s.
Roman, what's a newspaper? You talked about a newspaper. I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about?
Newspaper?
Yeah, I'm just pulling your leg.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Things about things in a newspaper. My goodness.
Here's our newspaper. Everything is here.
Well, believe it or not, there's still a lot of people who consume their news in print, and in so in certainly in more countries that are more developing, India, parts of Asia, Latin America, and so on. Print is still a big thing for a lot of people.
Latin America, we need to do a big difference when we speak about Latin America. We need to do a great difference, and something that maybe the market sometimes don't know about it. When we talk about Latin America, we need to make a big difference between Spanish speakers and Portuguese speakers. Printed in Brazil, for example, people don't use more print. You have printed newspaper, but it's very less. It's like go to Barcelona right now. We'll still have those that you are going to the metro. They give those papers with a lot of publicity. If you go to Barcelona or Madrid, or even if you go to Paris or Rome or Milan, it's the only newspaper that you get because normally you don't buy it. So, for example, and when we speak about Latin America, it will depend really on the development on different countries. For example, we have countries in Latin America that you have a print and you have a consumers for that, but most of them don't use printed things anymore. They go and pay live and they go online. That has changed a lot. And concerning sales, for example, 70% of all travel industry, it's online. Only 30% it's going for travel agencies, and it depends also in the country. When we go to travel agencies in Brazil, for example, you have a huge market because it's a market that 93% is a market that consumes itself. Brazil just have 7% of their tourists come for foreign countries. 93% is inside. It's like China, for example, or like Australia. It's a self country that can promote tourism inside. Okay, they can have outsiders, visitors, but they're not so relevant by the industry. That can grow, of course, and even more. But if we talk, for example, about Argentina, or we talk about Mexico or Colombia, for example, we can see they have a huge market that comes from Europe or USA, and that with the recession that Europe is starting with, and the recession that we have in US, those markets would suffer. would suffer more than Brazil, for example. And in Europe, that will happen the same, because we have a lot of people that travel in the first destination in the world is Paris. The second destination is Cancun. Cancun is still growing up because they have the US market and it's cheap for them to go there. But Paris is more expensive. It's really more expensive. And for a lot of people, this is going to have an impact. I just want to make this point. And Pamela, I go with your question because
just one last thing. I just got the map here, so you guys can have a look. You see, we've got like a concertina version like that, and it comes out, and there you are. That is
it's awesome. Roman, I hope you start travel tech in that map someday, man.
Yeah, I think you guys are on there. I'm sure you're on there.
Yeah. I need to check.
I'm going to double check now, but.
I also will drop you an email, Roman. I would like that travel tech partner with your company also for the next year. So we'll talk this after our forum. Let's go with Pamela. Pamela, let's go with your question because we didn't touch super apps. I don't have some questions for super apps and omni-channel, so we're running out of time. But I will cover the questions for the public that was here with us. So he's here with us. So Pamela, from Virtual Horizon, CEO and founder, how do we remove the barriers to enter to inspire more tourist providers to utilize Web3? How do we remove the barriers to enter to inspire more tourist providers to utilize Web3? Please, all yours, my dear.
Well, what I would say, first of all, is you don't even have to have the definition of the tourism industry in there. That's just because it's applicable to the topic we're talking about. It's how do we remove the barriers to entry, full stop, to this Web3. And the only way that we can do this is to, number one, develop the technology further. Number two, educate people. Number three, onboard them into the space, utilizing the technology. So we want to teach, train, mentor, coach whilst they are in Web3 to keep up with the speed of the development of the technology. How do we do that? We must show people what's in it for them. So we meet them where they are at. So in relation to, I'm going to give you a user case here in Townsville, in North Queensland. We have a huge community of per capita, the most artistic people you've ever met, creatives, artists, musicians, etc. So in order for us to remove that, like at the minute, I appreciate what Roman is saying. I understand. It's like you're talking gobbledygook. Like if I say NFTs to my mother, she's like, Pamela, what is Australia doing to you? You know, she's a different language. And I'm saying, oh, it's a metaverse. It's Mommy's like, what about the universe? I'm like, oh my goodness, keep on track, Mommy. Keep focused. And I think focus is key, but I think meeting people where they're at. So here's what we did. So you've got to mix real life events with the metaverse events or virtual events, or even just Web3. So all these artists are entering the NFT space. In order to do that, they will start brand new all over again. They will have it'll be basically a startup business. But in order to maximize the collectors they already had in real life, what we did is we had an in real life launch of their NFT. And what we utilized was the POAPs, the proof of attendance protocol. So this is one of the most unused resource that we have, because what it is in the simplest form is they access through an app, a POAP app, their first NFT. So everybody coming to the actual exhibition, all they had to do was download an app, scan a QR code, and what they had delivered to their email address, not even to your crypto wallet, they didn't need to set that up there and then, was their first NFT. Then what we do is we educate. So everybody that came to the event, they got an email saying how to create a wallet, why you need a wallet, how to connect to the marketplace. And what we actually achieved is while we were there, the NFT artists sold out because we had basically removed all the barriers to entry from the current collectors before they embarked on the journey of a startup in the Web3 Twitter space. So POAPs for me, if you don't know what it is, get on it, because I've been using them since early last year. They are amazing. And they are one tool that we can really, really utilize to make it easier for people to enter the space. And then once they're in the space, what we have to do then is basically cultivate the talent and really encourage them to do something with the space. Like, there's no point me giving an NFT to somebody who's not going to do anything with it. What's in it for them? You can sell that POAP. That POAP is your ticket into the marketplace and to start that whole, chain reaction of getting involved, immersing yourself in the space, making money. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what anybody tells you, they are in it to make money. And I grew up being told that money was a dirty word. You don't talk about what you made and all that sort of stuff. But we need to banish those myths, and we really need to embrace the new technology, what's in it for them. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. And I always reach my hand out first. So whenever I'm doing anything, I give first. And if you do that, utilizing the technology of POAPs, you will make it much, much easier. Like, I had 70-year-old women getting a POAP and being excited about it. It's a feeling, and that piece, what they're getting in the POAP is a piece of original art. So they're actually getting a piece of art for free that they can sell. And you can imagine if one of these artists turns out to be the next Beeple or Sabet or whatever, they will have, what they have is some kind of equity, some kind of nest egg for the future. So break it down to the bare essentials. Again, what's in it for them, easy access, give them something for free. Everybody loves something for free. And then teach them how to play in the space. And for me, it's working very successfully here. We actually have a POAP-a-thon, which is a 24-hour, bringing all the NFT projects in Australia and New Zealand together for 24 hours. They've done it in America. It's been really successful, and it really has onboarded a lot more people. So we stop buying from each other, and we stop relying on each other's capabilities or innovations. We bring new, fresh blood in, and that's what we need.
Thank you so much, Pamela, for all the insights. We are running out of time, but before we finish, this panel is for more and more hours. What are we going to do for the next? Because we have a Latin in Spain on September that is going to be in Spanish, and then we have EMEA on November. What I will do concerning our organization is create one panel just for NFTs, another one for metaverse, another one for Bitcoin, another one concerning super apps and gamification to help people, because I think this is a subject that needs to be explored, that is quite new. Most of the tourist professionals have no idea how that works. We need to be very, I'm not telling we are ignorant at all, but that is something really new. Sometimes it's not so easy to understand if you don't come from this world. So you need to have those kind and segmentation. So we're going to set this on the next editions, and of course for the next year for Asia APAC, we will stand and drop this subject in more than one panel. And I'm sure, and I hope to have you, Pamela, Akina, Roman, Alice, Xose again with us. And I just want also to invite all of you, Elise, Akin, Xose, Pamela, Roman. We have created a project on Travel Tech. That's traveltechacademy.com. You can access. We are the first company providing free educational content. As we know, our trade is one of the trades that people don't get paid very well, to be very honest. You can have a reservation agent with an MBA, for example. But however, it doesn't matter. You have a master or an MBA if you don't have the experience and you're still in that position. So what we did in August last year is to start with traveltechacademy.com. We have 12 courses dictated for the most important executives on different subjects and different areas. So I would like to invite all of you, this is a free of charge. We don't charge the companies for this. We don't charge even the persons to be there. We already have less than 1 year. It's 10 months that exist. We already got more than 2,100 registered persons on those courses, and we got only 50% of those have approved, because we are providing real certifications with the companies. So, and we're the first one doing this in the 3 different languages. So if any of you want to give some kind of masterclass for 1.5 hours live, then we're going to record it, we will do the edition, and we will spur that knowledge. If you want, it will be great, because I think the market needs this. And the people, what we're trying to do is in a social inclusion for our trade globally, and try to make them understand that technology is key. And when we see those companies in traveltechacademy.com, none of them permit to speak about what they do. They're doing there is a really masterclass. They're not explaining to you how the tool use. No. And you have, for example, we will have certifications from, you can have certifications from Sabre, from Hotel Networks, for CEOs. We're going to have, for example, next week, city tour as the smart destinations for Uzbekistan. They're gonna do a master class in Russia, in the language Russia, for all the countries that are not part of Russia, but will impact on all those people. It's the first time we're going to have something in Russia here. That is nice, and we're chasing to have also in Mandarin and in different languages to spread the message and all those courses. So I'll invite all of you to make part of this. I thank you for all. Yes, say something. Okay. So if you want, Natalia also can send information to you guys. I'm going to request her to do that in case if you want to create a masterclass live. We organize everything. We do everything, the arts, and just to impact and to help our trade. That is something very important, really, really important for us. We're finishing. I'm sorry, we didn't have the time to talk about super apps. There's a lot of things. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Akina. Thank you, Xose. Thank you, Roman. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for all the attendance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna give you all of you a few seconds to say goodbye, your last words. So I will start with Alice. Please go ahead. You can. It's all yours. You're in mute. Sorry.
Thank you very much, everyone. You're right. Super apps are definitely a topic that's worth discussing. Hopefully we can discuss it again. I just wanted to say thanks to my fellow panelists, and obviously to you as well, for bringing it all together. It was a really interesting discussion, highly applicable, and we should get together as a team and really, really try and push this, move innovation forward. So thanks, everyone. Feeling really good after this.
Thank you, Alice. It's always welcome to Travel Tech. Akina Hall, please.
Yeah, this is my first time, so I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I'm not really an expert like you guys in the space, but I'm glad my 2 cents kind of help a bit. And
we don't believe you that you're not. We're sorry. Nobody believes you're not expert. We'll tell no. Yeah, you are an expert. No, don't come to us saying, "Oh, I'm not an expert."
So I have learned a lot, and I had a lot of fun. I love this the questions and the different attitude towards this. This is what we should be doing in the boardroom of any company, is to share and discuss and argue. It's okay. What's the point of not arguing ideas, when you're running a company? A company, it's supposed to be dynamic, supposed to change, it's supposed to be alive, right? So I felt really live. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Akina. Tourism is an ecosystem. At the end, we're a really ecosystem. Xose, Manuel, Feijoo, your turn, my friend.
This has been fantastic. I just want to say one thing, because what Roman went through, showing all the friction that you have to access that content. In our experience, in our platform, you can have access to 360 videos just in 3 clicks, and we're trying to go into just 2 clicks. This means that the technology is already there. 360 has been for a long time, but there's always a barrier of access to this. There are the super apps, with in our case it's a web browser, Google Maps, and YouTube, that gives access to this context in 3 clicks. So don't lose perspective of that, and that's my final thought. Okay, and thanks to all my colleagues. It was great, and I will be contacting you all with through LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Xose. Roman, please, your turn.
Well, thank you very much, Vinicius, for having us on. Natalie for inviting us, and to all the other panelists. So it's a really interesting discussion there, and relevant points. I think we're at the beginning of something super exciting for all of these areas. With gamification, metaverse, super apps. It's going to evolve in ways that we can't even begin to imagine, like the fax analogy. And I'm excited to be involved in that with my clients, and to try and help advise on ways to we're all about communication, so it's about explaining these things, talking about it, rationalizing it, helping people to understand. So exciting times, and if we come back on another panel to discuss this further, where we're at a year from now, or super apps, love to be part of that. Would love to do one of your masterclasses.
Roman, we're gonna have you in EMEA. Don't worry, you're gonna be
Good.
there. We're gonna speak about it. Don't worry about it. You'll be in EMEA.
Good. Love to. You tell me the topic, but we'd love to be part of that.
Thank you so much, Roman. Miss Pamela Kerr.
I just want to say thank you so much for the invitation. I was very humbled to be invited. I really have thoroughly enjoyed the engagement with all of you. I will follow or stalk you on LinkedIn. You will be hearing from me. All I would say to everybody at home is please stay curious. Please keep open-minded, ask questions, and you know what? Stand together and understand that together we're stronger. I'm so delighted to see 3 females sitting on this panel today. I just want to say that as well. And I love men. Don't get me wrong. I married one. I love them. But right now, in the world that we're living in right now, it is really, I tip my hat to you for what you've achieved, you and Natalia, for doing this. This is awesome. This is what we need. And I just want to say a rising tide lifts all boats. And this is what you need in the boardroom right here, right now. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much, Pamela, to be here. Thank you for your attendance. We're finishing. Kisses to everybody. And tomorrow we have the pitch session that we're going to have a nice companies explain their tools. And after this, I hope some of you want to do a masterclass with us. It will be great to expand and provide knowledge to our market for free. Because I know 1 hour and a half or any of you or even myself will cost a big amount of money for those people who have our life. And normally what we're trying to do is provide a democratical way of knowledge. For when we talk for free, sometimes people say, oh, free means I don't have a value. Yes, they have a value because we have a lot of people that don't have the amount or money maybe to expand or to be with people as you. So we do that social inclusion, and we'll keep working on travel tech. Having or not having sponsors, travel tech, we'll die. That is for sure. We do a great work for the last 3 years, and we will maintain this work, and we want to connect the most important and relevant persons and executives all over the world with or trade directly. Thank you so much. I finish here. Kisses to everybody. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.